9th of June, the year 2018, a very, very fantastic Saturday afternoon, and welcome to the touchline on Y254. Of course, my name is Maxwell Wasike. Good to have you on board. Join the conversation. 22162 is our SMS line, starting with the word touch. Keep to us and join the program as well via social media handles at Wasike Maxwell, at Osoro Bats, hashtag touchline Y254 at Y254 channel. Big man,
yeah,
how have you been?
I'm good, man.
3 days after my birthday, you did bother even to do something for me, yet you claim to be, you know, a honcho in my life. Come on, man.
I thought the ticket I gave you to the Monaco Grand Prix was enough.
Economic crunch. You see, I couldn't take good care of myself in Monaco, then I decided not to go. Anyway,
come back.
This is the Touchline Matters Sports. Of course, we're talking sports across Vegas sporting disciplines. Remember, the last leg of HSBC World 7 Series, currently underway, Paris 7's Kenya already has been beaten 24-5 by the powerhouse New Zealand, and they're looking forward to bounce back and win their remaining matches in order to qualify for the main cup quarters. Remember, during last weekend's in London Sevens, surpassing 100-point mark. Shall we do it? Of course, Malim Kombo and Mike Kwambo from KRU Media and Comrades Rugby Football Club respectively will be joining us in a few minutes to dissect about that and how the HSBC Sevens World Series has been like. Also, Robert, a lot of sporting highlights as far as matters sports pages. The current national team Harambee Stars is currently in India for Hero Intercontinental Cup. Mixed performances, but before that, of course, predicaments facing Aden Maro, your good friend. What do you have to say about that?
It's a very tough week that it has been happening here for our Kenyan international referee Aden Maro. The mathematics and chemistry teacher from Kehancha is suffering because he took 60,000 bribe and now is off the World Cup. He was among the 10 assistant referees who are supposed to be in that World Cup, but he will not be there. Now, according to an expose by the BBC by Ghanaian journalist Anas Ayemaru, this is what happened from the Ghanaian president of the federation up to what is being happening in West Africa and football at large. Just listen in and watch to that expose, courtesy of the BBC World Service.
Is the second most powerful man in African football. This referee, taking $600, was due to be officiating at the World Cup this month. These are just a few clips of hours of secret filming gathered over the past 2 years by controversial Ghanaian journalist Anas Aremeyo Anas.
When this story comes, there's going to be a lot of trouble.
His footage, exclusive to BBC Africa Eye, appears to show dozens of referees taking cash before games in both domestic and international tournaments, and top officials also taking gifts. Ghanaians have been waiting for this investigation to blow for weeks.
Why the tension is so high? It's football and it's Ghana, and the people have cried for far too long.
With the World Cup just around the corner, a storm is about to be unleashed. The scale of Anas's investigation is huge. Over 100 football officials and their bosses took cash from undercover reporters, and over 150 separate payments in total. These money transfers occurred before Ghanaian Premier League, Champions League, and major international games. Anas has never revealed his true identity. Some are very critical of his journalistic methods, in particular, the way he conducts his secret filming.
What actually happens is that you are being entrapped into something that you have least idea about. And I think that it's really hurts people.
Anas rejects the idea that his methods amount to enticement, saying those that took the money were not forced to do so. With football loved deeply across Ghana, many people have been rallying in support of his latest investigation, both on social media and over the radio waves.
Football is a very beautiful game, and we're all looking forward to this video from Anas, and we just hope that it will clean our system. We think that things must change.
Anas's secret filming includes explosive material surrounding the WAFU tournament in 2017, the largest international competition in the region. Referees took cash from Anas's men, who posed as Ghanaian fans before numerous games, including on one occasion just hours before a match between Ghana and Mali. Match official Ebrima Jallo of Gambia was among those filmed. He took $500 and seemed to imply this kind of activity is common in the international game.
The way you do it is happening everywhere. I told you in the morning, it's not a matter of bribery or the way I think trying to bribe me or try to bribe me. It's not that important. What is important there is the relationship.
Jallo told the BBC he had never been given any money to fix a match. He denied wrongdoing. It's against the rules of FIFA and the Ghanaian Football Association for referees or officials involved with the game to take any cash gifts. Anasi's investigation went beyond regional football and targeted a major international referee, Rangi Marwa of Kenya, who was due to be running the line as an assistant referee at the World Cup in Russia. He was approached by an undercover journalist posing as a Ghanaian football official during the African Nations Championship. Marwa, sitting in a hotel room, took $600 in cash.
I know that no, this is, thank you for the gift, but this is what is important is that friendship, getting to know each other.
FIFA says Marwa has resigned from the World Cup refereeing team. He told the BBC he denied any wrongdoing. Ultimately, the hundreds of dollars given to referees was relatively small compared with what Anasi's undercover team handed to the most important official they targeted, Kwesi Nyantakyi, the president of Ghanaian football and a major figure in football in Africa, took a gift of $65,000 from Anasi's reporters, believing they were meeting to discuss the prospects of a sponsorship deal.
Is that you even have something here for shopping for now?
Oh, okay.
Shopping for now.
It's not for you. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Nyantakyi sits on FIFA's council and was appointed by the executive committee, one of the highest bodies in football. It is against the rules of FIFA to take any gifts of cash. Nyantakyi remains in his position as head of GFA and did not respond to a BBC request for comment. FIFA told the BBC they were investigating the allegations. They said it was a priority for FIFA to protect the integrity of its competitions. What will this investigation mean for the officials Anas filmed and the tournament he focused on? The future of West African football is now hanging in the balance.
That's the extent at which match fixing has got into the African continent. It has been happening before, but now people have been discovered. And one of the major things, Maxwell, that is in doubt now so far is that the African qualifiers for 2019, Kenya versus Ghana, is in doubt because that game might not be happening because the president of the government of Ghana decided to dissolve the Ghanaian Football Federation.
And I think that's the way to go, even if it will cost the country political involvement for the betterment of growth and development of the sport that is football. Is the way to go. Of course, Kwesi Nyantakyi, president of Ghana Football Association, also being caught on camera receiving bribes. He's one of the senior football administrators in the continent, FIFA Council member, and first vice president of Confederation of African Football. And yesterday, he tendered his resignation, saying that after the government decided to have him not associated with football activities in the country for the next 90 days. Quite a lot of interpretations and versions with regards to tribulations facing Aden Marwa, assistant coach who was due to officiate at the World Cup in Russia. A few days from now, as we speak, he was supposed to take home 2.5 whooping Kenyan million shillings and 250,000 per game. But now that is gone, and his reputation now is at stake as we speak right now. But of course, we've seen reactions and even Korea Professional Association and forum members saying that he was fixed and the allegations that are facing him are not justified. I don't know from where you sit. What do you think?
We'll wait for the investigations to go on, but when you see he's already left the FIFA referee pool, that is not going to be at the FIFA game in Russia, that's bad for us. And then the worst part of it all, forget the money and everything, the worst part of it all is the career and the name that is gone.
character assassination. We shall be keeping an eye on that particular development and see how it pans out. Of course, Aden Maro, as we speak right now, is in the country, having already resigned from World Cup officiating team following the tribulations he's facing after accusations of receiving bribe, £600, equivalent to 60,000 Kenyan money. And of course now his dream of, you know, refereeing at the FIFA World Cup, one of the coveted showpieces as far as football is concerned, is now done and dusted. But away from that, we still on matters football. SportPesa Super Cup, we've been keenly following about the edition. It's underway in Nakuru. Gor Mahia Football Club, 16-time KPL champions, will be locking horns against Simba FC from Tanzania in a mouth-watering clash that will be presided over by former Everton and Nigerian, you know, player Yakuba Yegbene. I don't know, what have been your highlights and key moments since the tournament began, with 8 teams taking part?
Well, it has been a very good tournament. 4 teams from Tanzania, 4 teams from Kenya. We saw one of the Tanzanian big teams, Yanga, big knockout in the first game by Kakamega Homeboys. We saw Simba qualifying to the finals after defeating Kariobangi Sharks and Kakamega Homeboys at the semi-finals. Then there's also FC Leopards also being bundled out early enough by Singida in the quarterfinals. Then also Gor Mahia defeating Singida at the semi-finals. It is going to be a very good final, considering that Simba is a big team in Tanzania and also Gor Mahia is a big team in Kenya, and these are the teams that usually form the derbies of East Africa. Simba Yanga make the Tanzanian derby, Gor FC make the Kenyan derby. Now it is going to be Tanzania versus Kenya, so going to be an East African derby. Let's go ahead and listen to the highlights of the SportPesa Super Cup as we wait for the final tomorrow, which will be live on Y254.
Versus Michael Wanyika. Will Kishuya put it in? Oh, Wanyika just goes in that direction but doesn't get to it. Wanyika rather, and Kishuya puts it in. It's in the net.
How did Manyika miss that one? He went on the right direction, but I think Kishuya also pushed enough power behind the ball.
It did have power, so it beats him just on the speed. Yes, the speed counts here. The final 2 penalties will probably seal the fate of the 2 teams and determine who's going into the semi-finals and who's probably booking the half ticket yet to go to Goodison Park. And it is the old boys who will take the first shot. The second half substitute, Wycliffe Opondo, who also scored a goal in the quarter-final stage, coming in as a substitute. Has come in as a substitute and he's taking the penalty now. Oh, he loses it. Opondo pushes it over the bar. And hands the advantage to Simba. Confidence that he had, but then he lifts it just a little bit too high. And the Simba side would want to celebrate. They're just being restrained from going too far off to celebrate it. Well, and Jacob, this is the last penalty now.
Kude Jonas, the man who scored the last penalty against Kariobangi Sharks. Can he do it again?
Kude going for it. Oh, he's put it in the net. Simba are in the finals. And Simba have half the ticket to Everton against.
Because it's a tournament that has been characterized by several penalty shootouts. Gor Mahia Football Club beating the opponent Singida United by 2-0 to advance to the final, to set up a final clash against Simba FC in a mouth-watering clash that will take place tomorrow at Afra Stadium in Nakuru County. And remember, on their way to the final, Simba FC eliminated Kakamega Homeboys through penalty shootouts. And as we always say, there is no expert in penalty shootout. We saw the likes of Alan Wanga though scoring, and he had scored during the regulation time, but some sort of shooting blanks from one of the Kakamega Homeboys player costing the team, are now being eliminated at the semi-final stage. But kudos to them. A team of Kakamega Homeboys pedigree getting to that particular level is a milestone. That one we have to unanimously accept, right?
They did their best defeating Yanga in the quarterfinals. They made it to the semi-finals and they lost to a very big team in Simba. But they'll be the 3rd place playoff playing against Singida, so they might finish in the 3rd position.
Hoping the team from my county finishes as the 3rd best overall team.
We didn't know that.
The ongoing SportPesa Super Cup happening at Afra Stadium in Nakuru County. Remember, the final clash will be televised live and exclusive on Y254 channel. Away from that, still on matters football, Harambee Stars, the national team, is currently in India participating in Hero Intercontinental Cup, and yesterday they beat the opponents by 4-0. The veteran defender Joaquin Satudo scoring a brace, Dennis Odhiambo from Thika United alongside Timothy Otieno from Tusk also scoring each and making it 4-0. What a thrashing for the boys from home. Harambee Stars against Taipei from China.
Well, it's a good exposure for the team. They are going outside there, and it's the first tournament for the Sebastian Mignet, the new coach from France, who is in the country. The thing is that will he retain that lineup, or is he going to get new boys? Because we never got most of our best players getting into the Harambee Stars team that went into India. But what a way to start your assignment as the new coach of Harambee Stars.
What a way to start. Remember, during his first game against Swaziland, being beaten 1-0 at Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos County, then bouncing back to beat Equatorial Guinea by the same scoreline, and now who is in charge of the national team Harambee Stars at the ongoing Hero Intercontinental Cup. And remember, final is set for tomorrow at Mumbai Indian Arena, with Kenya playing the host India in a final fixture that will come your way at 8 p.m. East African time, and we shall be keeping an eye on that particular fixture and see whether Sebastian Minya, man who took over from 61-year-old Belgian international Paul Put, who resigned tendering his resignation letter citing personal reasons, will win his first title with the national team. Remember, Paul Put had just won the Sekafa Senior Challenge Cup with the national team. But now, still on matters football, KPL is currently underway, even despite the ongoing SportPesa Super Cup. A lot of fixtures on card tomorrow. No action today though.
Yeah, we've got the results from the round 18 of the SPL round 18 that was played. If we could get those ones here, we'll play them for you. We also got the results for the matches that will be coming in the 19. Yeah, around 19 minutes. But also we've got the fixtures for the Sekafa Cup Group E, where Gor Mahia will be playing, and it's going there. There they are. We've got Mathare United winning 3-1 against Zuke, reaching round 18 of those matches. And Zoya Sugar a draw with Mathare, and remember, Mathare United have played 18 rounds and they are still second position, 4 matches ahead of Gor Mahia, who have played only 14 matches, but they're leading that log. So for Paka, leading Chemelil by 1-0. They won that one, and it was also a loss for Thika United at home as Posta Rangers won that one. Nakmat FC 3-0 against Wazito FC, a big one for Nakmat, but also Bandari winning 1-0 against Viga United.
Nakmat FC looks a rejuvenated side since a politician took over now the management, and I'm reliably informed that the team will be renamed soon in a ceremony that will be probably televised live. We shall be keeping an eye on that particular development to see whether Nakmat FC will be renamed Mount Kenya United, beating the opponents despite the predicaments financially the team has gone through following their sponsors, you know, sort of financial crunch.
It's something we can wait on and see if it is going to happen. But if we can also look at the round 19 results, fixtures of sports, but those are the matches that will be played on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, before we go to round 20, which will be starting on Saturday there.
Remember, no much action today, but tomorrow 2 fixtures on card. Mathare United taking on Thika United in a 3 p.m. fixture. Then Sony Sugar against Nakmat FC happening at Awendo on Monday. Viga United against Zoo in Mumias Complex. Then Chemelil against Bandari on the same day, and that fixture will be at 3 p.m. So KPL action is still underway despite the ongoing SportPesa Super Cup. Gor Mahia off the hook, but still occupying top of the standings and going by the Pandit word. Of course, they are set to be crowned record 17th time champions, but it's something that, you know, can be changed with the likes of Tusker, Sofapaka and Mathare United also chasing up for that particular title. Last time Mathare United were crowned champions was in 2008, several years down the line, and probably they can do it despite, you know, players, reports of players not being paid.
Not this season though.
Not this season.
I don't think so. When you see Gor Mahia, they have played only 14 matches. They are leading the log with 31 points, and Mathare have played 4 matches ahead of Gor Mahia. They are still at 27. It's not good enough for you.
I know you're speaking from partiality angle. But you'll be sports pages happening on Y254. This is the touchline. My name is Maxwell Wasika alongside Robert Osoro. Keep talking to us. 22162 our SMS line starting with the word touch. Join the conversation as well via social media handles at Wasika Maxwell at Osoro. But hashtag touchline Y254. Epic show lined up. Remember the fan favorite segment, the fans on, where we're discussing matters international football with focus on World Cup. Few days before the kickoff, of course, starting on 14th this particular Thursday, and we shall be analyzing each group and see the possibility of 2 specific teams to qualify from each group, and some sort of transfer with several teams now seeking to acquire players to bolster their squad ahead of European season kickoff come next year.
Still on the fixtures and what has been happening, the Sekafa Cup will be starting on July 1st, and we have also got the fixtures for the Gor Mahia team that will be representing Kenya at the Sekafa Cup in Tanzania. They're in Group B, and they'll be starting their match against Rayon Sport, and they have already played Rayon Sport this season, drawing 1-1 in a CAF Confederation Group match. Gor Mahia also will be playing Lydia Ludic of Burundi in that group. Then they'll finish off their fixtures of Group B with Ports of Djibouti. That's in the Sekafa Cup.
If I were a Gor Mahia fan and probably a Gor Mahia football club stakeholder, I would have urged them to, you know, not to participate in this championship because a lot of congested fixtures, KPL, SportPesa Super Cup, CAF Confederations League, Sekafa Senior Challenge Cup, it will lead to most of their players, you know, getting injured.
Valid question you're asking, but the question is, will you opt out of a FIFA sanctioned tournament, or will you opt out of a company sponsored tournament? Which one is better?
I would opt out of a company-sponsored tournament because, you know, eliminating yourself from a FIFA-sponsored competition will lead to, you know, sanctions and even bans.
Yeah, because now Sekafa is affiliated to CAF and Gor Mahia has to honor those fixtures. But for the tournament they're in now, it's a good one to ask. But for anybody who is out there, they have got the pool of players who can pull this off. They're the best team in the country we have at the moment. Let them go there and do their part.
This time around, they would have let FC Leopards to take part in the competition at the expense.
Win matches.
From an angle of a fan of Slum Boys of Madara United, our ladies, starlets, are currently away in Equatorial Guinea to play the second leg fixture, and they are hoping to replicate the glittering show they put up at home, Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos County, winning 1-0, and probably if they win, they will advance to the African Cup of Nations that will take place in Ghana, though with doubts.
In Cameroon.
In Cameroon.
Yeah, actually it's good for the Harambee Stars team because they won 2-1 at home here after Jed Sayo put Equatorial Guinea in the 39 minutes ahead, but Teresa Egesha and Ese Akida made sure that the Starlets won that match as they head to Equatorial Guinea. That match will be happening actually today, and the one who wins the aggregate of both matches qualifies for the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations that will be happening in Guinea. These are the highlights of that game, but we'll be also getting some up sounds of David Ouma, the coach of the Starlets, plus the goal scorers. Let's watch that and listen in to David Ouma and the Starlets players. That's all we had for the sports pages. Hope you have had fun from Aden Marwa, the Starlets and Harambee Stars in India. A big one also that happened today morning was the Golden State Warriors winning 4-0 in the Game 7 series against the Cleveland Cavaliers. It has never happened before between these two sides, but it seems that the Golden State Warriors are building a dynasty in the Western Conference.
I've always formed an integral part as far as Siku Sako Battalion is concerned. A nocturnal creature, but last night I didn't manage to watch. But hopefully, James LeBron did what he does best.
He tried his best, but Steph Curry was the man of the night with Diamond Iguodala and the one and only Kevin Durant. Hope you watched that match. We'll be playing the highlights at the tail end of the show. But for now, Kenya is in Paris 7th, and they played in the Challenge Cup final against Wales, where they won 33-19. Let's watch those highlights of that final. When we come back, we'll be talking with Mwalimu Kombo of Comras RFC and Mike Kwambo, KRU Media Officer, in everything that has been happening this season when it comes to the world of rugby and how Innocent Simiyu has stand around those boys.
Flowed through and the conversion is good. Yeah, we can see here, lovely taker from the kickoff, gets about 10 metres. The Wales just need to stick on their tackles. Adam Thomas with a bit of strength there. But here we go, that's a dummy. We've seen that a couple of times today. Strong enough to stay on his feet, draws 3 defenders in. Or Jason Harries takes a big whack to the head there. But Billy Odiambo spots the gap. And selflessly gives it in backside for Collins Indura's 7th of the weekend.
More from the lead-up work of Ajiro, who took the restart, and that set him in motion down that left-hand side. There's a little loose start from Jenkins on it. One converted try separating Kenya and Wales. Back off and moving, second half of our trophy final, Wales v Kenya. This game has ebbed and flowed nicely. It's been a classy first 7 minutes of play. Kenya just hit so hard with ball in hand. Oh, you are already with the first half try, just showing us there how tricky it is to put down. But they come on the switch. Tight through Ambaka. Injira. Now they put some width on it, the Kenyans. Najiro, lovely flick out of the back of the hand, and he sets a freight train in motion. Herman, Hamwa pops it up off the deck. That is a super score from the Kenyans.
Yeah, Wales tackling very high in first couple. There's a couple more yards, just gets them to build momentum, and there we've got a lovely out the back flip from Aguero there. To send Herman Humya straight through. He is a big unit, but he runs fast. Look at him. As a sweeper, you don't want that charging at you. But it makes a great tackle. There's Glyn Williams. But Aguero, who set him up with the lovely little out the back pass in support, like any good Sevens player will, just to pick up the 5 points for Kenya. Look at him charging through. Great speed for a big man. That's also a great tackle.
Convert his try here. That is one of the more skew-with conversion attempts we've seen this weekend, no doubt. Just a little bit of lactic build-up after playing such a strong hand in that try. 12 points to the buffer in favour of Kenya here.
Time on.
Turning up. Just needs a breath of wind behind that one. Won't go the distance, but Wales are happy to play on.
Lost red!
Looking at the next team to score, to stay alive in this contest. Thomas gets it across for Williams, Glyn Williams. Evans back to clean up. Sends it long. Over to Rossa. Kenya get all over it at the breakdown. Now the tap and go is knocked on.
Hey guys, it's a knock on.
Double mistakes there. Lucky for the Wales boys. They were building some nice momentum, but not really going anywhere in attack at the minute. I think as soon as they get the ball into Luke Morgan's hands with a bit of space is where they're most dangerous. They're very dangerous in the middle of the pitch when Luke Treharne's there. He's got lovely footwork, but he's injured and out today. So Luke Morgan is their danger man that they need to be trying to feed as much as possible.
Wales, they must be the next team to score. Nice fend and go. Rosser, flying Rosser. Quality finish, hard bend, and then he flew.
Well, when Luke Morgan's not on the pitch and you bring on Jared Rosser, it's a pretty good replacement there. He's got wheels to burn. Lovely footwork, just stands him up, does the old in and out. Great to see him pin his ears back as well and just go to the corner. A little bit of leg strength as well just to finish. It's a great try from the youngster. Lovely footwork, just puts Jeffrey Ulich just on his haunches there with a little bit of footwork. Just manages to come back. Great acceleration, and then he's got the speed to just get past the sweeper as well.
Time's off.
Conversion is a long way off to the right. Our shots on goal have gone a little off over the last. That's how they're lined up for the big one.
Time on.
And in terms of the overall series ladder, Fiji currently lead the South Africans by 4. It could be a 3-point swing either way. Fiji could very nearly seal the deal this afternoon, Marcus Watson. Which way is it going?
If I was, my money's on Fiji. They've been unbelievable, mate. I think South Africa are going to have to bring their A games to try and beat them because Fiji have been unbelievable.
I tell you what, South Africa are going to push them. We saw the South African essentially, it's a B team.
Let's go now,
They took to Hong Kong earlier this year. They almost rolled Fiji in the cup semi down there. So Neil Powell and his men will fancy their chances. A little bit of ricochet ball right there. It'll work out okay for the captain, Adam Thomas in Wales. Now pop for Evans. Evans goes across the park. Good one-handed offload from Thomas. Still going here through Tom Williams, wider. All the way out there to Evans now. Evans. Scragged by the Kenyan defence. They infringe at the breakdown.
Off feet to begin with, then back onto the ball.
With a chance here to potentially cross and lock it up with 90 seconds to go.
Yeah, huge play here. Kenya just giving away a penalty at the breakdown. Giving a couple away this half. But as you see there, Lloyd Evans just telling the boys to relax. They've got the set move, got time on the clock, so take your time, let your move unfold, and hopefully it works out well.
They straighten out. Jenkins, Owen Jenkins. It's a set piece moving. Across the park they come to Rosser, already with one try. Jared Rosser, and how dangerous he is. Williams. Looking to stretch the Kenyans. They've created some space for Thomas, the captain. Oh, he's coming back. Forward pass is the call. He was over the line and then heard the little toot out of the whistle of James Thalman and looked up and said, no.
It's a very costly mistake there from Wales. Lloyd Evans just going forward. He doesn't look too happy with that one. But yeah, just going forward. You don't want to be giving away the ball in your opposition 22. Every time you go in there in sevens, you want to be leaving with points.
Not with 45 seconds to go, down by 7.
Fine. Sets.
And you just need to control the clock here, and they will step away with some much-needed series points. Injera. Out the back, it comes. Footwork at the run, and now a chance for some pace on the outside. This is some kind of way to finish it up. Off and gone is Jeffrey Oyuok. They have taken it 95 for the match winner. Try Kenya, and it smiles all the way round.
What an awesome try that is.
Someone looked up and said, no.
It's a very costly mistake there from Wales. Lloyd Evans just going forward. He doesn't look too happy with that one. But yeah, just going forward. You don't want to be giving away the ball in your opposition 22. Every time you go in there in sevens, you want to be leaving with points.
Not with 45 seconds to go, down by 7.
Fine. Sets.
And you just need to control the clock here, and they will step away with some much-needed series points. Injera. Out the back, it comes. footwork at the line, and now a chance for some pace on the outside. This is some kind of way to finish it up. Off and gone is Jeffrey Oyuok. They have taken it 95 for the match winner. Try Kenya, and it smiles all the way round.
What an awesome try that is. Bit of payback there, Jeffrey Oluch. Look at him, lovely footwork just on Rossa. Rossa did exactly the same thing to him earlier. Rossa looks like he's running on the travelator just there. Jeffrey Oluch, eyes on him the whole time. Smiles on his face as soon as he sees Rossa dive and miss. It's a great try to seal Kenya's win and get them lifting the trophies. Lovely footwork, in and out, twice this time. Gets Rossa on the back foot. And there's a foot race there, and Rossa stretching his neck back, not quite able to get there. Great try from Jeffrey Oluch.
Well, it's been a good year for Kenya. They've been cup finalists twice, and here they are in London, picking up the trophy final as well, full time, 33-19 against Wales.